Welcome. In front of me I have the VIVO X200 Pro, and today I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself and its specifications. Now, with that out of the way, I might be a little bit late with this unboxing and look at the device, but the reason for that is this device isn't available from normal retailers where I'm from, which is Poland. So I actually am not able to buy these devices here easily. So it's just kind of like a random offer that would show up. That's also one of the reasons why I'm still kind of waiting for a random offer of the X200 Mini to show up, or Pro Mini, whatever the name is. Anyway, so in here we got the massive device. To peel it off somehow. Come on. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Now I'm gonna boot it up and move it to the side. And below that we have SIM eject tool, a silicone clear case, nothing really special, some paperwork, and here just a cable. Wow, that's disappointing, to be honest. Yeah, that's it. A big case for a lot of nothing. It's basically done to mislead you. I absolutely despise this kind of marketing bullshit. Anyway, let's take a look at the device. So let's start off with the display, which will be the first thing that you're going to be probably seeing and touching for the most part. So that is a 6.78 inch display with a resolution of 1260 by 2800 pixels. LTPO AMOLED display, 120 Hz refresh rate, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and a peak brightness of 4500 nits. With a 90% screen to body ratio, 452 pixels per inch, covered with a scratch and drop resistant glass, armor glass. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it ain't scratch and drop resistant. If I drop it, it's going to drop and probably break and scratch. So that's just marketing BS. Now, moving on to the back, which would be the cameras. This will be the start of the show for this device. I have to say, it's kind of blended and really well. They did some magic almost to make it look like this bump isn't as severe as it is. So when I flip it to the side, you can see it's pretty hefty, to be honest. You can just hold the device by it. But because of the color of the glass right here, the fact that it kind of goes up to the bump, when you're looking at it from most angles, it doesn't look like it's protruding much. Just visually, it doesn't strike you as a plate that would be glued to the back of your phone, which is very odd. The illusion here is pretty good. I can't really tell the depth of this by looking at it straight up. But when you grab it, yeah, you can totally feel that it is a plate glued to the back. Now, that plate will hold a 50 megapixel f1.6 aperture 23mm wide lens, 200 megapixel f2.7 aperture 85mm periscope telephoto, 50 megapixel f2.0 ultra wide, and with those cameras you can record videos up to 8K at 30 frames. 4K gets you 60 with slow motion of 120, 1080p gets you again 60 with slow motion up to 240, and then at the front we have a 32 megapixel f2.0 aperture 20mm ultra wide that gets you 4K at 60 and 1080p at 60. So camera here is going to be basically the start of the show. and it is one of the better cameras that you can have on the phone right now from what I've seen. This is the first time I'm actually holding this, but I did look into this device beforehand already. So yeah, the cameras here are pretty significant in terms of what they can do. If I remember correctly, they are better than what Samsung S, for instance, 25 Ultra offers with their flagship. So obviously Vivo went for just straight killer camera setup. Now, if we take a look at the rest of the parameters, we are looking at a 6,000 mAh battery in here. So again, bigger than what Samsung offers. That will be charged with a cable at 90 watts and wirelessly at 30 watts. Again, both specifications charge faster than what Samsung offers. And the reason I'm comparing it to Samsung is this is going to be the kind of like the probably bigger competitor to this device, even though it's not as good in terms of cameras and a lot of the specification wise. It's usually what people will debate: should I go for a Samsung or should I maybe pick this up for camera wise, right? So that's kind of why I'm bringing that up. Also most popular phone when it comes down to Android. So battery wise, pretty good right here. Now, the device out of the box with the lowest kind of specifications comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage, running UFS 4.0 storage type, and you can spec it up all the way to 1 terabyte with 16 gigs of RAM. Now, there is no expandable storage, so you only have a dual SIM tray at the bottom, and that's about it. Now, the cost cutting here, which will sound very rich considering I am saying that it's cost cutting, but this device is as expensive as Samsung, is the fact that it's running Dimensity 9400. So it's going to be a little bit slower than what Samsung has right now in their devices, if I am correct. But let me quickly check, just so I am not botching this completely. So Dimensity, let's compare to 8 Elite, and we are looking at Nano Review. Oh, okay, so they're all, wow, they're almost identical. Holy crap, like that is insanely close. So for instance, Antutu benchmarks, Antutu 10, Snapdragon is only ahead by 4%, with a score of Snapdragon Elite being 275, oh no, that's 2,754,809 versus the 2,647,012. So there's about 100,000 difference out of like more than 2.5 million score. So it's, like I said, almost like margin of error almost. Then Geekbench 6 has a little bit of a different difference. So single core is about 10%, which for instance, if it's being run on something like a Snapdragon or on a Samsung S25 Ultra, that will probably be a little bit more leaning towards the Snapdragon, as that one is overclocked. And multi-score is 8% higher, but still 10 and 8% isn't that significant of a bump. So it's a very comparable processor to the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is in the newest Samsungs. Now, I do want to also check out one last thing to give you a good kind of perspective, which would be the price. And we're looking at a price of So if you were looking for this device on something like AliExpress, considering it is a Chinese phone, that will be probably one of the easier ways you can get this device through AliExpress. We are looking at 2,600 PLN, which is about $600. Yeah, about $650. So $650 compared to $1,200. Yeah, okay, so truth be told, this device is, for the price that it's selling for, it's freaking amazing. Cameras are great, the display here is great, the specifications are great. So the only kind of downside here, and that probably will be love it or hate it, is the software that it's running. And this is Android, but it's going to run its own skin over it, being the well, I think there are two versions. So there's FunTouch 15, which is the international, which is probably the one that I have right here. Let's just quickly go through this and see. And then there's the Origin OS 5, which is the China version of the OS. So it's still, I believe, Android, but it's just going to look different or come with like different applications. So yeah. Now let's quickly see what we got right here. It started. So we have FunTouch OS, which you just seen there for a brief moment. And obviously this is the international version, so it comes with all the Google Play services, store, and all that stuff. Everything that you basically expect from a device like this. So there we go. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.